I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Welcome to another exciting episode of The Outsiders. I'm your host, Sean Sims, and today we have a special guest. We've got superstar Doc Cheatham on today. He's got an issue he wants to talk about, y'all, and it's getting serious because people they don't know how to act, they don't know how to behave themselves. So we're going to have superstar Doc Cheatham. He's going to join us in just a second, and what I wanted to do is I wanted to let people know, hey, look. It's a new year. I hear a lot of whining and crying and complaining, but look at the good bright side. Okay, look at the bright side. It's a fresh new start. So let's do what we need to do to make this the best start we can with what's going on. And I guess I'll bring Doc in now. I'm going to play a clip after this because we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about deportation. What's going on? In my opinion on it, in my opinion on people and their opinions. It's going to be opinionated. So, Doc, welcome to the show.
God bless you. Thanks for having me, and Happy New Year to everybody listening.
Glad to have superstar Doc Cheatham on, and I know you've been having issues. I've been getting the email threads. I've been getting the email threads for weeks and weeks and weeks on end of the situation you have going on with the Enoch Pratt Library and ADA, American Disabilities Act situation with what's going on. Briefly tell us, and I want to get to this clip, about other lawsuits that are going on. What's going on with that?
There are 20 Enoch Pratt free libraries in Baltimore City. One of these locations is neither building wheelchair accessible, nor accessible for the books located upstairs and downstairs in that building, nor bathroom wheelchair accessible,
wow,
nor meeting room accessible.
Oh my goodness.
Only 1 out of 20 libraries, the only one being the Pennsylvania Avenue and the West North Avenue location, that underwent renovations in 2003. It included, when they did the modernization, rooms and equipment for children and teens and adults and families. It was first known as the Eastwood Branch, and it was actually located 2217 West North Avenue. And that's actually used to be across from the Joe Ross Funeral Home. On June 26, 1914, that's when the library was at that location, having previously been a Jewish synagogue.
Mm-hmm.
It opened its doors anew on June 26, 1953, at 1531 West North Avenue, at the corner of Pennsylvania Avenue. And it was really highly praised. It was modern design, had use of what they call an expansive plate glass windows.
Okay.
I'm sad to say, with the knowledge of the 40th Legislative District Senator Antonio Hayes,
oh boy,
and the 7th District Councilman James Councilman, this library was renovated and now has no elevator. No elevator, folks.
Wow.
1 out of 20 libraries in the city. This one, the blackest community in Baltimore City, has no library. Matthews Henson has filed a class action lawsuit. We demand equity, justice, and we want immediately for the elevator to have a lift or elevator there to accommodate seniors and disabled. We ask everyone to join us in praying for our battle. I will close with this. 1945, my aunt, Louise Louise Kerr Hines sued Enoch Pratt Library. She sued the library and the state. The lawsuit was Kerr versus Enoch Pratt. That lawsuit is why today we have black folks in supervision, because she got Thurgood Marshall as her attorney, and she sued because they wouldn't let black people basically be in supervision at that library.
Wow.
I'm happy to say my first job was with the library. My fourth lawsuit that I will file will be against the library and the city of Baltimore, because the state senator and the councilman that I named, they knew about this back in September of 2023, almost a year and a half ago. They did nothing, and they've been lying to people, telling them, oh, a new library is coming.
Wow.
I'll close with this. We met last Thursday of last week. We met with the new president and CEO of the library. I directly asked him the question, are we scheduled to get a new library? He said, no, I don't know anything about it. This is the president and CEO.
He's the president.
So what have we been told? We've been told evidently by the state senator, Antonio Hayes, and the councilman. They've been leading folks to believe a new library is coming. Folks, we cannot sit through. Only one library in the city of Baltimore out of 20 that is not handicap accessible, and it's ours. We got to put an end to this. There is a lawsuit that has been filed.
Here we go. Here we go. There's a lot of that going on, Doc, and this is not a close. We're going to deep dive this. I'm going to play this clip first because I've been checking things out, and there are lawsuits going around more than people know about. I've got inside information that Baltimore City, specifically, the amount of lawsuits, allegedly from the information I'm getting, and I'm talking inside information, folks, that the judges are swamped, and they're doing all they can to rectify the situation with these lawsuits. And I'm going to go on record. I'm going to let it be known, and we're going to get to this clip. And Doc, we're going to deep dive the ADA compliance situation with the Enoch Pratt Library, because that's what I do. We deep dive. We get into it. What I'm getting back, there is, and I know of this, and have known of this, of course. Can't go into too much detail, but the Circuit Court for Baltimore City, Xavier Conaway, is the clerk. They've been sued in federal court. Lawsuit, as a matter of fact, I'm going to read some of it. It's public record, okay. Public record, public information. Lawsuit filed in federal court. And this has to do with allegations include harassment, discrimination, retaliation, hostile work environment, sexual harassment, and and again, this is public information. The Circuit Court for Baltimore City, Xavier Conaway is the clerk of the court, has been sued. Now, Clerk Conaway, Doc, I don't know if you're aware of this, but he actually went on WOLB, the station you were on, and you're going to be on again this Friday, but went on WOLB, and he told the people, and I asked him straight up, because he wanted to jump into my wheelhouse. He wanted to get on the station while I was doing an interview with Jason Rodriguez, and he made, I don't know who
I heard that show.
Okay, I don't know who advised this young man to go tete-a-tete with me. Even though Jason was turning my mic down, turning my mic off, and interrupting and doing everything he could to block, I got this question in, and it was in regards to the rat infestation. And I said, you saying that rat infestation and other things that you're saying, that all this information, you're saying that the Legionnaires and so on and all that, are you saying that's false information? And he said it twice. That is false information. If you,
I heard it.
that was false information. And Mary Hughes, I showed her the information coming from the pest control folk, and yeah, they confirmed there's a rat infestation, and that's a lie. So that's a lie by the clerk of the court. Bold-faced lie.
He probably got that from his sister. He told us there wasn't dirt taken from Hannah Park.
Oh, his mother.
In my park.
Yeah, that's his mother. That's Belinda's mom. Yeah. And she said, oh, no, there's no dirt, so another lie.
What's in the family evidently?
Apple falls right near the tree. Also said that he didn't know who I was. Then I showed folks the text message. I screenshotted it, blew it up, showed the text message where we had text messaged each other. Okay, and we had multiple phone calls. So that was a lie. Changed his name to get in the office. His name is Xavier Alexander Washington. That's his name. That's his birth name. That's on his birth certificate. Changed it to Conaway to use a family name. Okay, surname of his mom's maiden name.
Great name. Grandmother, grandfather.
Conaway. And I guess deceitful, tricked the people, thought they were voting for an adult. And here's the thing, and we're going to get to this clip of the ADA compliance and the lawsuits that are going on, but if you lie, listen up, Xavier, you can get your people and they can tell you, this is what I said. If you lie as a witness, and a witness stand and you're sworn in court because you're getting sued, you got a federal lawsuit and it's moving forward. They tried to dismiss it. Nope, case way too strong, can't do that. So it's moving forward. So if you get on a witness stand in front of a jury and a judge, and you do what you did on the radio, lie like that, it's called perjury. It's called perjuring yourself. That's criminal offense. So you go right ahead, think you're such hot stuff. Jason Rodriguez won't be there to push a mute button, okay? He won't be there. So you got these lawsuits going on, and I'm going to play this clip because there's other things going on as well out there and people don't know about and people should be made aware of. Let me go ahead and cue that up. Cut one. Okay.
Anyone who has received a traffic ticket in Cook County is impacted by this.
This information, in my opinion, should always be under lock and key.
But it's not in Cook County, where Clerk Dorothy Brown is now being sued for breaking the Driver's Privacy Protection Act of 1994, sued to redact important private information, from sports stars to President Preckwinkle, domestic violence victims to the mayor, all exposed. Here's the mayor's private information from a ticket we redacted.
Right now, 5 employees are part of this lawsuit, and according to the documents, more are expected to join.
There have been complaints, multiple complaints.
As clerk of court, Hope Blackley is considered the manager and keeper of the Spartanburg County Courthouse. She says for that reason, some people have even blamed the ongoing mold problem on her.
And my goal has always been to calm fears of the folks who work in the building and who come into the building, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.
Now, 5 employees in the courthouse are suing Spartanburg County and 10 others who haven't been named. The attorney who filed the lawsuit tells us the others are contractors and county agencies and that the clerk of court is not among them. According to the lawsuit, the employees discovered over the last 2 years that their various illnesses are symptomatic of the exposure to toxic mold in the Spartanburg County Courthouse. According to the lawsuit, the county and the others being sued failed to correct the problem and didn't immediately relocate the affected employees. HVAC ductwork, furnishings, files, and fixtures.
Oh, that sounds familiar. That sounds like the rat infestation, and that sounds like the Legionnaire's disease, and they forced them to work in that building while they were curing or just trying to find out through the water tests, 14 days. That's how long it takes to verify whether the water has been is clean or not, and they made them work in the building. So this sounds familiar. It sounds like what's going on in Baltimore. Let's continue.
Couldn't comment on the lawsuit. She told us all of the remediation work has been done on the building. She also told us that Occupational Safety and Health Administration officials did testing in the courthouse last week.
Step up and start mitigating the disaster that they have created, and that starts with honest, immediate, transparent information.
Yeah, transparent information.
But almost 2 weeks later, the city still not willing to say what happened in the moments leading up to his death.
It's a terrible embarrassment for the city.
They should be extremely concerned about a lawsuit.
According to local attorneys Warren Alperstein and Kurt Nachman, the city is likely protecting themselves from looming litigation.
He got sick at work.
Now this is about the DPW, Ronald Silver, and the other workers who have passed. So they're talking about the pending pending lawsuits that are coming. Let me continue.
The medical examiner made it clear that heat exhaustion is what ultimately caused the death of the employee.
Well, the workers' compensation case is more or less a slam dunk.
Additionally, they say a negligence lawsuit could also be brought forward.
Several Colorado businesses are being sued for alleged violations of the Americans with Disabilities Act. However, 7 News reporter Doug Shepman spoke.
Dozens of Napa Valley wineries are facing disability compliance lawsuits tonight.
Hi guys, team calling.
A new wave of lawsuits filed in the Sunshine State reveal many Florida businesses are dark to the disabled.
Oh, God. Why is it not showing up? You might as well be locked out.
As you can hear, Doc, this is going on all over the country. This is not your ADA situation with Enoch Pratt here in Baltimore. And there was many more clips or additions to this clip I could have put on with ADA compliance issues. You said you met with the president and CEO. Did he have
CEO of Enoch Pratt?
Of Enoch Pratt. Now, you mentioned he had bodyguard with him or something, or
they had security there.
Security,
all of the libraries do, but I just felt it was so inappropriate. That he having a meeting with a community president, with the head lawyer for the community law center, the TV reporter, Jeff Abel from Fox 45, and a civil rights and government employee of more than 40 years, Linda Batts. All of us were there. What the hell you need a 6'6" security guard there in the meeting, sitting down with us?
I don't know. You guys can be pretty intimidating. You know what I'm saying, with the hips, and you got your walk, and you had a stroke, and you know what I'm saying. And Jeff's a real big guy, real big tough guy. So I could,
Jeff can't be no more than 5'6".
Yeah, and with Lydia, he's like Jeff and I. We look each other eye to eye. So Jeff's like me. He's a short guy, and so you got to be saying to yourself, wait a second, wait a minute, why do you have this monster security guy for Linda Batts, Doc Cheatham, and Jeff Abel? I mean, did you have anyone else that showed up, or maybe they were expecting a mob or something?
That was it.
That was it. That's what they were going for, huh?
Yeah, I've been trying to get him since the summer. Shortly after the summer, it was announced that he was the new president and CEO of the libraries. And I attempted to reach out to, I attempted to do it, but they had electrical problems right there in the library area. So even though he had taken office, it took at least 2 months to get an appointment with him. But folks, I would say this, that when you do class action lawsuits, you really need to get the law behind you, because that's going to be the basis upon which you win or lose that lawsuit. And I'm happy to say that there is a document. It's called ASMEA 17.1. It's called ASMEA 17.1. It's called the Safety Code for Elevators and Escalators. And it reads, this is what it reads: facility access. In compliance with the ADA, all libraries must remove structural and communication barriers that could exclude patrons from accessing the facility. Thus, libraries will have accessible parking spaces, ramps, elevators, automatic entrances, and more. Walkways must be clear of obstruction, and roomy mobility aids and accessibility. Amplifiers, microphones, and ASL interpreters make libraries more accessible for people who are hard of hearing. So we have, in fact, filed a lawsuit. The Community Law Center of Baltimore is representing us. We've had them successfully represent some other issues I've done before. I have not lost a class action lawsuit ever. I've been involved in 3 major lawsuits. I've been involved. I was the major plaintiff in the illegal arrest in Baltimore City against Martin O'Malley.
That was a big one.
Won that case.
That was a big one.
I was the lead plaintiff in the removal of the 2 Confederate statues in Baltimore City. That they actually withdrew that case. They actually didn't want to go and fight with us. So you got to be successful doing this, but the law will support you if you use it correctly. And we're saying to say, this is unacceptable. And to have a state senator, Antonio Hayes,
again,
and to have a city councilman be involved with this and knew that there wasn't no elevator back in September of 2023, not 2024, of 2023. And they've been telling folks that, oh yeah, a new library is coming. Well, I asked the new CEO that question directly in front of 4 people, including the bodyguard. And he said, oh no, I don't know anything about that.
So let me get this.
You don't know it. How does Antonio Hayes and Torrance know about it?
Let me get this straight,
they
Doc.
They don't know about it because they lied.
Doc, let me get this straight, because I analyze. See, when I do my podcast, everyone who hears the podcast, thank you for our new subscribers. The amount of subscribers is just jumping up. So I want to thank the new subscribers and the people, and don't forget to hit your like button. Come on, people. They love this. A lot of people like the show because we're straight shooters. But here's the thing. If you have someone who is a state senator and then you have a councilman, James Torrance, I nickname him Pigpen because he's the councilman of the dirtiest, unfortunately, the dirtiest district in the dirtiest city in America. Now, when you have these people tell you, oh, you're going to get a new library. You're getting a new library. Again, here we go with the lies. And then you have the CEO and president say, no, you're not getting a new library. Doc, how did you feel when the CEO and president of Enoch Pratt Library told you, after hearing from Antonio Hayes and James Torrance, and then he told you you're not getting a new library, and they told you that you are getting a new library? How did that make you feel?
I would say I'm glad I'm a God-thinking man. I don't want to say too much that I
understand
later or do anything that I would definitely
you were upset.
Regret. But it's sad because he's not only done this to the seniors and the disabled in our community, but he did that 2 years ago when he lied and said that the community, the Matthew Henson community, we are the largest community in the city of Baltimore. 36,563 people. Nobody as big as we are. We tried to set up a skateboard park at Easterwood Park, and he came and stopped it. Stopped it with the recreation and parks and indicated the community did not want it. Well, there's a document dated September 30th, 2020, that clearly states, it lists the 10 priorities of Matthew Henson that were voted upon, and number 9 on that list was a skateboard park. So he went around, told the newspaper, told the TV stations that the community did not want a skateboard park. I'm saying, oh no, here we go again.
Bold-faced lie.
State senator?
Bold-faced lie.
Blatantly lying.
Blatantly lying. But that's what they do. That's what you do. The environment that you have here in Baltimore City, state of Maryland, for that reason, you got the governor said he was from Baltimore. Oprah Winfrey on the show, hey, you're from Baltimore. Never denied it. No. So you start at the top, and it's an acceptance of these bold-faced lies. Oh, there's no rat infestation. Oh, no jurors aren't jumping up on their chairs and people running around in the Mitchell building. And no, that's not the asbestos. Oh, well, take that back. He admitted there was asbestos. Okay, so what are you going to do? So you have these people you put in the office, and they tell you that they're for you, that they care for you, that they want to do the best thing. They want to have an audit when they get in. and I'll go back to Xavier Conaway, and I'm going to go back to Antonio Hayes and James Torrance. And Xavier Conaway said, when I get in, there's going to be an audit. Every penny is going to be accounted for. And allegedly, from what I'm hearing, there has not been an audit yet. It's been 2 years, and he gets a raise of $146,000 a year. And allegedly, he's not in his office, so he's lying on the radio. He doesn't even allegedly show up for work, barely, hardly. That's the word I'm getting. And that means what? If he misses a day, Doc, let me explain this so people get this. If the clerk of the court doesn't show up to work like his granddaddy did, he was there every day, and doesn't show up to work, that costs the taxpayers of the state of Maryland, because it's a state agency, Doc, it costs them $1,200 is wasted. A day. A day. If he doesn't show up to work, then you done paid out of your pocket, mine, everybody else, in the state of Maryland, $1,200 for this person you put in the office a day. If he's a half a day there, that's $600 wasted. So you're talking about getting over $6 grand every 2 weeks, Doc. We're talking over $12,000, over $12,000 a month, and you're not showing up for work. And you're punishing people. If they're 1 minute late, any employee at the Maryland Judiciary, the Baltimore City Circuit Court for Baltimore City, if they're late 1 minute, they get penalized. But this knucklehead, this jackass, is not even going into work, allegedly, at all. And guess what? The cameras in the courthouse, they got cameras everywhere, cameras all over the place. That could confirm all the wasted taxpayer money, going out for this person not even going to work. And I'm going to jump back to Antonio Hayes with that skateboard park. Why do you think? I mean, because the things that are going on are just abominable. Why do you think Antonio Hayes decided, because we'll get back to the ADA compliance, Enoch Pratt's not off the hook because you got a class action against them. But why do you think Antonio Hayes decided to stop the skateboard park, which would have been the only skateboard park for primarily African-American children? Why do you think he would do that?
In the entire state of Maryland, I've shared this with the governor's office. I haven't talked directly with the governor, but I shared it with the governor's office. Well, I can't say specifically what it is, but I know what I feel. I do know what I do know. I do know that it was Antonio Hayes who filed a complaint with the Baltimore City Police Department against black kids because the same day that the white guy got killed downtown by one of the squeegee boys, earlier that day, y'all hear this, earlier that day, Antonio Hayes got confronted by a squeegee boy, and as a result of it, he filed a lawsuit. However, when the guy got killed, y'all probably just heard about this. When the guy got killed, we got a call on WBAL radio, and the guy said that he was in court and Antonio Hayes' case was called up. The case purportedly that had him going up against the squeegee boy, and he ended up not appearing. So, of course, they dropped the case. Well, I have reason to believe the brother got problems with folks that are dark-skinned.
Wow.
I just don't understand why he stopped children getting a skateboard park. I just do not understand it. And then to lie about it. And then we haven't seen the brother since. He's our state senator.
And he hasn't been there.
It's sad because we're having real problems with our community, with the kids. We've had 3 incidents at Carver. Well, you can't tell me the kids at Carver don't know that they're not being respected by the state senator. The state senator won't even allow them to have a skateboard park. And we're questioning why these kids are acting up at Carver. Well, guess what? The skateboard park was supposed to have been directly across the street. I can throw a football, baseball, maybe even a basketball across the street. That's how close Carver is to Easterwood. Why would this state senator do that? But I would say, I've said quite often, everyone with my skin ain't my kin. I don't think Antonio Hayes is my kin. I really don't.
I'm going to agree with you. I think the guy is a complete scumbag. I'll just call it straight up. I think the guy is a complete scumbag. I was standing right there one time. They had some kind of meeting. I was standing right there. I'd called the guy out along with you, of course, on The Outsiders on our podcast, and he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything to me, as I didn't have anything to say to him. As a matter of fact, when I run into these people, I really don't have anything to say to them because I know what they are. I know what they are.
There is a picture that the Baltimore Brew Cook, I guess the CEO of the Baltimore Brew, Miss Fern Shen, took a picture, and folks, you can pull it up. All you gotta do is Google Baltimore Brew Senator Antonio Hayes and skateboard, and there is a picture of Antonio Hayes about to enter Matthew Henson Neighborhood Elementary School, and it's a picture of myself, Stephanie Murdoch is trying to hand to him the petitions. The 250 people in the neighborhood that signed a petition to let him see that not only did we vote on it, but we also created 250 petitions showing him, trying to hand to him the petitions that the community signed. And this picture, you Google the picture, is Baltimore Brew, Senator Hayes refuses the skateboard park, and Stephanie is trying to hand him the petitions. He wasn't even man enough to take the petitions.
Yeah, he walked by and just ignored you. I saw the picture, and as if to say, like these elitist snob, I'm just going to walk by and annoy you. Coming in on Sheila Dixon's coattails, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for that. Bringing this knucklehead in. But here we go again. We have the situation where ADA, and I'm going to read this because I did a little research myself. I'm familiar with ADA, but the Department of Justice, the DOJ, we got a new DOJ now, new sheriffs are in town. They enforce the ADA through lawsuits. Doc, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. They enforce through lawsuits and settlement agreements to achieve greater access, inclusion, and equal opportunity for people with disabilities. And they do that through accessible technology, criminal justice, law enforcement, healthcare, community integration, substance use disorder, and voting polling places. So the DOJ, they're involved in this as well. And I believe thoroughly that in order to facilitate change, the type of change which is beneficial to society, which is beneficial to people, not beneficial to the corrupt politicians or to their pocketbooks, but are beneficial to people, that you have to. If you try, Doc, I read the emails. You reached out over and over again, and they left you no other recourse. The CEO and president of Enoch Pratt Library left you no other recourse but to file a lawsuit. And I believe if you have exhausted, and so do judges. Judges love to see it when people have exhausted all means. They don't want those cases, people. I have friends that are judges. I have people who were friends or acquaintances. They're not anymore because they got too thin-skinned. Not going to name names. But I have friends who were judges, attorneys, and they told me, Sean, we don't want these cases. And there are many times we don't have to have these cases in front of us, but you got an organization, an agency, a government agency, an individual who's just too daggone hard-headed. They want to do their own thing. They do not want to mediate. They do not want to come to an agreement. And then you end up getting this lawsuit in front of you. So, Doc...
There was a quote in the movie The Untouchables by Sean Connery. The Untouchables was one of my favorite movies, including The Godfather. And there was a quote from Sean Connery. Sean Connery asked the head of the FBI, what are you prepared to do? You know, and that's what I had to say to Matthew Henson. I said, you know, we've done everything we can.
Yes, you did.
In front of the library, I think it was back in, I want to say July or August. We picketed it in front of the library, begging them, please come to the table, let's talk. We tried to reach out to the CEO once he became appointed. Of course, it wasn't his fault he couldn't come see us. The library had problems with the electricity in that whole downtown area. And so the week before we actually met with the CEO, I wrote him a letter and said, you know, let's sit down, you know, let's try to negotiate. I said, I will counsel the next picket that I had scheduled. I scheduled it actually for January the 20th, Martin Luther King Day, because I think Martin Luther King would be proud that we were going to picket the library on behalf of disabled and seniors. And I sent a letter to him, to the CEO, and I said, you know, let's sit down, let's counsel this picket, let's sit down as men and women, and let's sensibly talk about how we can resolve this issue. You know you're violating ADA. I'm not interested in suing you or anybody. I don't have that time or energy. I may not live through the lawsuit. I said, you know, let's sit down and talk as men and women and come up with a solution to this. But you know you're in violation. You know basically it's not going to look good that there are 20 libraries and the only one that doesn't have accessibility is us, and we just so happen to be the blackest community in Baltimore City that has a library.
Wow.
I said, it's not going to look good.
Not look good.
You know, so, you know, I said, you know, I'm not interested in suing you, but, you know, it's clear, you know, what the ADA says about this. You know, they said that you got to provide accessibility, especially for the disabled, and that includes seniors.
It's the law.
You know, so, you know, all we're saying is, you know, we don't want to fight. We are going to fight at this point. And I'm going to ask for as much money and as quick as they can put an elevator in. Because we're optimistic that we're going to win this case, and we're going to win it quickly. Because we think the governor's not going to run it because one of his closest friends is Antonio Hayes. The mayor's not going to like it because one of his closest friends is James Torrance. So we're saying the two people that could have corrected this issue had dropped the ball.
They didn't do anything.
One had to lie to us.
They didn't do anything. They could have got involved and said, guys, look, you got older folks, the governor, I'm going to put it on Westmore. He could have got involved and said, look, I'm not going to have older folks, I'm not going to have seniors, older adults, and disabled folks. I'm not going to have them not being able to use the library, fix it. As the governor, he could have done that. He knew well, I'm pretty sure that he knew well what was going on, and he didn't do anything. So this thing and the smiling and grinning and all this stuff, and he rated almost $6 billion, 2 years, $6 billion of the surplus of the state's gone. We're looking at a $3 billion deficit, and then you add this ADA compliance. He could have picked up the phone, the governor, and made a call.
Magic word, Sean, and I'll read to us again what I read to you in the beginning. And this is quote unquote, in compliance with the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, all libraries must remove structural and communication barriers that could exclude patrons from accessing the facility.
Exactly.
It's very clear, it's very simple, and we're saying it's backed up by safety code for elevators and escalators. It's ASMEA is in Albert 17.1. It's called safety code. And all we're saying is, you know, we're not asking for something, you know, that's questionable as to whether or not there's money or something. City of Baltimore, you got to find the money.
They've got plenty of money.
We're going to press this as long as we can, as hard as we can. We're going to ask for as much money as we can, but we don't want any of that. We want you to put a damn elevator in Enoch Pratt Library at Pennsylvania and North.
It's simple. Just do it. Doc, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cover it. You know me. When I sink my teeth into something, I don't I don't let go. And I understand what you're saying. You don't want to fight, you just want to negotiate. I'm the first. I'm a peace-loving person. I want to settle or negotiate or mediate, but when I see that a settlement's not going to be feasible and I see that more needs to be done, the world needs to know about what is going on. The world needs to know. The world needs to know. Settlement, fine, whatever. But some situations, you know what? When it's time for me to fight, I like to fight. And I can fight real good. Oh, I like to fight real good. So you're in that situation where they force you to fight. I'm in it with you, Doc. Any assistance you need from me, you need this brain power or anything that I can do, please let me know.
That's what I'm asking everyone. We've been on 3 stations already. We hope to get on as many TV and radio stations. We're trying to get on some TV stations as well. But I want you to hear, these are the list of libraries that have accessibility, and we're the only one. This is a Enoch Pratt Library document. This is their document. They created it, they printed it, and the one thing that they will tell you that they are not in compliance. Brooklyn, these are the libraries that have accessibility. And there are 2 questions. Is the building wheelchair accessible? Are the meeting rooms wheelchair accessible? Brooklyn, yes, yes. Central Library, yes, yes. Cherry Hill, yes, yes. Emerson Avenue, yes, yes. Forest Park, yes, no. And Forest Park is right there under renovation. Govans, yes, no. Govans is under renovation. Hamilton, yes, yes. Camden, yes, yes. Herring Run, yes, yes. Light Street, yes, no. Guess what? Light Street, under renovations. Norwood, yes, yes. Orleans Street, yes, yes. And then scroll down. Patterson Park, yes, yes. Pennsylvania Avenue, no, no.
Uh-oh, that's the one. Because y'all got too many black folks in there.
Road, yes, yes. Roland Park, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Southeast Anchor Library, yes, yes. Walbrook, yes, yes, but they are the
renovation.
Well.
No boy.
Washington Village, yes, no meeting room. So you can't have accessibility to a meeting room if there is no meeting room. Waverly is the last one, yes, yes. The only one where you heard no was Pennsylvania Avenue.
Pennsylvania Avenue. You can't have you black folks can't have that.
The 2 representatives, matter of fact, let's add somebody else to it.
Who's that?
The 3 representatives that represent that area are Councilman James Torrance.
There we go again.
Black man.
Pigpen. Go ahead.
State Senator Antonio Hayes.
Oh,
black
boy.
man. And my friend, I'm mad, my friend, because he needs to be involved in this. He hears about everything else. And I'm talking about my good friend Kwesi the congressman.
There's not a check. There's not a check being given out, so you won't see him.
But this document is called Accessibility Services. It's printed by Enoch Pratt Library. It's a document. You can Google it. Just Google Accessibility Services, Enoch Pratt Library, Baltimore, Maryland, and the document that they created. They're the ones who said we don't have the accessibility for Pennsylvania and North. And what we're saying, why are we the only ones?
You know why?
Possibly be that we're black.
You know why? You know exactly why. They could care less. Doc, I'm going to keep up on this. I'm going to have you back on. And thanks for we had superstar Doc Cheatham here on. Thanks for being on, Doc. And we're gonna keep on this.
Those that are hearing, if you can call radio station, you call TV station, you call podcast, get us on. We're definitely going to be on this Friday on WLB on the Frank Conaway NL show. Thanks to Carlton Douglas. We want to get on as many radio stations, TV stations, podcasts, interviews as we can. We don't want to go to fight on this issue. It's going to waste a whole lot of time and a whole lot of money. All we want, give us our damn elevator for the library.
Exactly. Doc, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. And I will be talking, definitely.
All right, God bless you.
Take care. He's going to need to fight because these people, I've said it before, they're not going to just give you what you want. You are, and I hate doing this. I really do, but I call it like I see it. And I'm not a race baiter by any stretch of the imagination. Anybody knows me. But this is what it looks like. You got black on black folks denigrating other black folks. Black folks getting in the office, elected officials, talking about, oh yeah, y'all, yeah, I'm going to do this for y'all, and yeah, yes, and I'm going to make sure that the black community, that we have things that are improving the black community for our folks. I'm not going to say who that talks like that. Trying to sound like Obama. And yeah, really? Is that what it is? That's why you can't pick up a phone and say, get the ADA compliance, get that in line for the Enoch Pratt Library, Pennsylvania Avenue. Can't do that, huh? So I'm going to go ahead and get into the next. I got to talk about this. I got to get into this. Woo, ICE, deportation, Tom Homan. You got, speaking of WOLB, what, I don't know what's going on with them. Hey, Kathy Hughes, I will be getting in contact with you, darling. Kathy Hughes and I, and a group of us used to hang out at Pargo's, the City View Grill now. Back in the day, Dwight Pettit, Dwight, you remember. Miss Denise is no longer with us, and other folks. And I always very personable. Kathy, very personable. Easy to talk to. Haven't talked to in a long, long, long time. But I'm going to be getting in touch with her because there's some situation that happened December 23rd. I'm still in the midst of dealing with that, and will be. And we'll be getting in touch with Urban One, Radio One CEO Kathy Hughes, and WOLB 1010. Doc is going to be there. Superstar Doc Cheatham is going to be on this Friday. Carlton Douglas. Carlton and I are cool. We have our political disagreements, just like Clerk and Vaughn. Corrigan, Carlton, myself, we had some good times. Corrigan, Vaughn has passed away, Pastor Vaughn, who's passed away as well, Sharon Baptist Church. And I'm going to get to this. ICE, let me get back. I digress. ICE arrests going on. People not liking it. They whining and crying, and they got their opinions. And let's listen to a few and play a few clips, and I'm going to comment. And they're coming, they're taking those illegal, what do they call it? Worst first. I guess the worst of the worst. Violent. Sex trafficking. Rapist. Crazy folk. The worst of the worst. ICE, Tom Homan are going city to city. You need to come to Baltimore, guys. And they're taking worst of the worst. But let's hear this clip, see what's going on. Listen, what's going on here. Okay.
And Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown is releasing a new guidance for local and state police for immigration enforcement. Brown says these new guidance rules are to help police and deputies to comply with federal and state laws while protecting individual rights. They include...
Okay. That's not a good start. You got Anthony Brown, DPW folks. I don't know if the Circuit Court for Baltimore City folks and Parks and Recreation, DGS, but DPW folks, they're going to be coming to you, Anthony, and say, where have you been, bruh? First black Attorney General of the state of Maryland. And you got these folks at DPW, black folks, for the most part they are, black folks have died. Isabel Cummings' report came out, the horrific work situation, and haven't heard a peep, nothing from Anthony Brown. Not a thing, not one peep. I'm going to continue this, but I need to get this out first before I continue the clip. Not one peep. And this thing with, I don't know what's going on, but a military, huh? Military guy? Let me tell you something, Anthony Brown. My grandfather was in World War II Saipan. It was atrocities that were committed during that campaign, Saipan, World War II, in the Philippines. And I got here, I brought this for this show. It's a World War II helmet. My grandfather's helmet, Saipan. Getting shot at, guys getting torn apart around him. He survived, because if he wouldn't have survived, I wouldn't be here. That means my mother wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be here. And this helmet protected him. He was a man of honor. My dad, I had his flag up here last week. Army Ranger, during the Vietnam era. He was a man of honor. Both of them weren't perfect, of course, but they were men of honor. But you have these men who did military service, and they're protecting with your slick little words. I know how to play with words too. I'm real good at it. With their wording to protect child rapists, arsonists, murderers, sex traffickers who came into this country illegally. And instead of putting his time and effort to help DPW workers who are dying, he wants to protect sex traffickers and murderers who came into this country illegally and are living around us. And so does a certain WOLB radio so-called personality or lack of personality, Jason Rodriguez, who talked about and bitched and whined and complained about Trump. He's taking out these illegals. He's taking them out. He's taking out the worst. And you want them to stay here? You want to protect them? That's what you want around your women folk? I don't want them around my women folk. I don't want them around the kids. I don't want them here. Get them out. But he wants to protect them. He wants to make sure that they're okay, that they're around us. No, get these people out of here. Worst first. Worst first. I'm definitely for that. Now, you can have a debate about little moms that got their kids and debate like that. I mean, we can debate that. We can debate that. There's no debate. No debate. Zero. None. No debate whatsoever, Jason. Westmore, Anthony Brown, and the ilk of your kind. You call yourself men? You're not men. What kind of man wants to keep criminals, murderers, child rapists, child sex traffickers in their community and try to protect them? And you call yourself a man? All of you are a disgrace. And you, Anthony, and you, Wes, are a disgrace to the uniform. It's disgusting. You make me sick. And real men should stand up and say, what are you doing? Are you trying to protect these criminals, illegal criminals who are the violent criminals? The violent criminals. The murderers. That's what you want to protect? That's who you want to protect? And you call yourself a man? You three disgust me. You're disgusting. That's what I think of you. And that's what real men think of you. And you have defiled the uniform of United States military, Westmore, and Anthony Brown yourself. Brandon, who gives a... Please, who cares what Sugar Britches thinks? We know what he is. So we know he's going to try to protect them. But you three, you call yourself men? You're a disgrace. It's disgusting. You disgust me. That's what I think of you. I don't want them around my wife. I don't want them around my family. Mother, nieces, friends. So that's what I feel about that. And the real men, trust and believe, they feel the same way too. They just don't have podcasts or radio shows in order to voice their opinion, but they are saying the same thing. Trust and believe they are. I'm going to continue with this because I want people to fully understand what's going on, if you don't yet, with what's going on here. Let me continue.
Include not sharing personal information with federal immigration authorities without a warrant and not asking about immigration status during routine police work unless it's relevant to the criminal investigation.
Yeah, right. Sure, Anthony. Let me go on. It's a disgrace to the uniform.
That line. It's a felony to knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien to immigration authorities. Don't test us. The nation wants a safe country. We've had enough crime in this country with illegal alien crime. It's time to end it and stop it. President Trump's committed to it. He's committed to securing this border. He's committed to having this mass deportation operation and concentrating on public safety threats and national security threats. For any mayor or governor who's going to push back on removing public safety threats from your community, that is your number one responsibility. You ought to be teaming up with us. We've created the biggest national security vulnerability in this nation on the southern border. Because like I said, 2 million known gotaways. We don't know how many unknown gotaways. Already record number of people on the terrorist watch list. If you don't think a single one of the 2 million came from a country sponsored terror and didn't come to do us harm, then you're an idiot.
This is what happens when you put chickens out in the barnyard. The chickens always come home to roost.
On Wednesday, Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott expressed concerns over the latest White House directives, but not surprised. He says his administration is waiting and watching. In the meantime, nothing changes for the city and its police force. Scott says the focus remains on crime prevention.
I will not be directing my police officers to not focus on taking guns off the street.
Now, there's also been a promise from the new border czar that they will prosecute mayors of cities that do not follow ICE policies or raids.
Good.
Mayor Scott says he's not afraid to keep doing the right thing like the freedom fighters who came before him. Meanwhile, Baltimore County delegate and Republican Nino Mangino...
Wait. Freedom fighters. Is this what... is this what he calls himself? A freedom fighter? So you're fighting for the freedom of sex traffickers, murderers, rapists. That's who you're fighting for, Brandon, you stupid idiot. Just like Tom said, you're fighting for their freedom. Asshole. I'm so many expletives I want to let loose right now that y'all don't even woo, my dad, he could go. He could let him loose. He can let him loose. And that's what I'm so close to doing that now, listening to this jackass talking about he's a freedom fighter. You're fighting for the freedom for our rapists, child traffickers, and murderers, murdering and raping our women and children, child trafficking and murdering our people, our citizens, and you want to fight for their freedom. Oh. And this is what y'all voted and put in the office. This thing. Don't worry, God, you're going to be meeting your maker unless you repent. Get on your knees and repent of your horrific sins. And a lot of people know what they are because they've told me. Get on your knees and repent of or you're going to have hellfire. You're going to bust hell wide open when you breathe your last breath, Brandon. Let's continue.
He sharply criticized the city's approach, saying in a statement, quote, I think the federal government should withhold every dollar of federal aid for any reason from Baltimore if the city and its failed leaders do not comply with the new policies concerning illegal aliens.
I want you to be clear about who has jurisdiction, the federal government or state and local governments. And if you're a sanctuary state or city, are you breaking the law?
You're absolutely breaking the law. All you have to do is look at Arizona versus U.S. You'll see he's breaking the law. But look, me and the Denver mayor, we agree on one thing. He's willing to go to jail. I'm willing to put him in jail. Because there's a statute. It's Title 8 United States Code 1324 III. And what it says is, it's a felony if you knowingly harbor and conceal illegal alien from immigration authorities. It's also a felony to impede a federal law enforcement officer. So if we don't want to help, that's fine. He can get the hell out of the way. But we're going to go do the job. President Trump has a mandate for American people. We got to secure this country. We got to save American lives. And I find it shocking. Any mayor of a city would say, President Trump's been clear. We want to concentrate on public safety threats and national security threats. I find it hard to believe that any mayor or governor would say they don't want public safety threats removed from their neighborhoods. I mean,
no, it is hard to say. It's hard to say. I'm listening to this and I'm thinking to myself, these people in leadership positions, elected or otherwise, with not protecting their women, particularly these Democrat men. These Democrat men who want to protect rapists, murderers, sex traffickers, want to protect them. And I'm thinking to myself, the ones who are actually with women legitimately, I'm thinking to myself, not the fakes, the one who are actually with women, girlfriends, wives, whatever, and I'm thinking to myself, the wives, the girlfriends, how do they feel when you're with a man like that? Do they make you feel like a real woman? Somebody, you got a man who wants to protect a child rapist. You got a man who wants to protect child sex traffickers. Or are you into protecting those type of people as well? What kind of woman are you? What kind of people are you? Because I'm thinking, the women, the girlfriends. I mean, you look at this guy and go, wow, boy, he really gets my engine moving. Wow, this guy is something else. He's a real man. Are you thinking that? When you're putting women in situations to be around these type of horrible people that came into the country illegally and he's trying to protect them, do you look at him and go, wow, that's a real man I got? Man, he's something else. Woo, he really gets my engine going. Is that what you're thinking? I don't think you're thinking that. I think you're faking the funk because of the money. I don't think you're really thinking, hey, this guy's great, protecting rapists, protecting murderers, protecting child traffickers. You can't. I don't believe it. Unless you got some screws twisted really bad. Something's wrong. Because no real woman's going to want to look at a man like that and go, wow, why are you going to leave your women vulnerable like that? Shouldn't you get rid of these guys like a Tom Homan? Tom Homan's a real man. Trump took a bullet to the ear. Got to fight. I mean, I've been shot at before. Had gun put to my head. Stabbed in the leg. I've been through all kinds of stuff. You don't hear me whining and crying. So these men, these elected officials, these geldings, because that's what I'm going to call you all. You all are a bunch of geldings. You're a bunch of fake and phonies. And Doc called it. The lies that he's got. Oh yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to build the Enoch Pratt. We're going to build another library. We're going to build it. And then the CEO and president of Enoch Pratt Library says, no, we're not. Where'd you get that information? Who told you? Where'd that information come? Oh, that came from Antonio Hayes, James Torrance. Now, this is what Doc said. And then you got a clerk of the court. There's a federal case. Circuit Court for Baltimore City is being sued. They tried to weasel out two of their attorneys. Two of the attorneys on the case got terminated from the case. Public information. They got terminated from the case. Spoke to one of them. I'm not going to give the names out to embarrass them. But DPW, the workers, the situation going here. You know what? Why am I even here in this state? Why am I bothering with these knuckleheads? There are other places, people, you can move to in the United States. Big country, you can move. You don't have to bother with this sludge, this cesspool, this shizer. You don't have to bother with these leaders. You can just go somewhere else and live a life. I mean, I'll be 60 this year, and I'm thinking to myself, do I want to keep putting up with this crap? Answer keeps coming back, no. But while I'm here, I'm going to do what I do. chew bubble gum, and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubble gum. Okay, I'm your host, Sean Sims, The Outsiders, but thanks everyone, and get the message out. And find some real men. Hey, ladies, find some real men that actually want to protect you. They don't want to protect the criminals. They want to protect you. Maybe that's a good start. Anyway, take care. God bless.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. I'm all out of bubblegum.